in your hypertrophy training, you want to increase the size and diameter of your muscles. So for every person, that looks slightly different. It does have this range where everybody says do 8 to 12 or 15 or whatever that is. The range does depend on your body type, but you don't know that till you establish base. If you can't even do a move well at 15 reps or 12 reps, let's establish your ability to actually train and work out first. Then we can start to dial, right? So it's kind of like drawing the outline. So if you were to draw a picture, because this is what the aesthetic art of bodybuilding is, we want to draw the picture out, the outline. And then once we draw it out with the foundation programs, we can start to etch in the details of what we want based on the understanding of, do you have fast twitch, slow twitch? What are the right rep ranges for your body? Again, that comes at a higher level past, not your base program. So FFF transformation, you need to do your base first. You need to do your base programming first, and then you can talk about that later. And what kind of body type you have, like we mentioned before, are you a ectomorph, an endomorph, or a mesomorph? If you are an endomorph, your natural body type is a slightly bigger bone. You tend to deposit fat a little bit easier, a little bit rounder of a type. Doesn't mean you can't become very lean and sculpted. There's lots of endomorphs that become bodybuilders. In fact, sometimes they build even better muscles base because they have that like strong like muscle base. So endomorph, are you a mesomorph? Mesomorphs are kind of in between. They're they can lean out, but they can also build up faster. They're kind of like the athletic types. I would say that myself and Oshone would be like a mesomorph. We would be mesomorphic, where we can, with training, really build ourselves up. But we're not naturally like roundish, right? So you need to know your body type. The devil is those Bulgarian splits. Oh, those Bulgarian splits, it's coming like in a bit. Why you need to do those. Right now, your FFF ladies are not liking them. They're like, my legs are hurting. So mesomorph or ectomorph. If you're ectomorphic, then you will know typically you have a very long limbs, very long torso. You're very lean all the time. You kind of think of basketball players, very tall, lean. If you put their skeleton structure beside somebody like a endomorph, they just have longer limbs and everything is distributed a little bit more. They just always are really lean. Doesn't mean they're healthier. I mean, I've seen plenty of ectomorphics that are not that healthy, but they just look really lean or skinny, and they have a harder time putting on muscle. So depending on what type of body type, and I know there's certain people that I've just chatted with in my client base that's gonna be like, I know, like why, gotta ask God. God gives you, why do I have black? Well, actually I have purple. I do have pink, purple hair. But why do I have black hair? Genetic factors, there's just certain things. But it's then understanding what genetic factor you have and then optimizing it. That's why I say it's like a science experiment, because I've met bodybuilders, endomorphic, mesomorphic, and ectomorphic, that have done amazing in competition. They just have to go through different protocols. They have to go through experimenting different approaches, and they have to have someone who really understands how to manipulate it, which is why I speak a lot about, I don't like cookie cutter things too much. I think like a cookie cutter thing could be good to start, or like you never exercised in your life before, maybe it's good, but like if you want results, and this is something I always say, Oshone always says, she's like, if you want results, it's Clarice likes results. If you want results and you want to really sculpt it to a high level, you do need that dialing. You need some customization. You need kind of people, or at least someone that understands how to tweak it so you can get a higher level build, right? And so you have to utilize different approaches and training regimes to achieve your ultimate physique, right? And so really you have to really understand what your base is, and then really dial that in. So, and as well, I also put here, sorry, forgot to mention this, that you will also need to experiment with the amount of weight training you have with cardio versus HIIT training. So again, when someone's first starting, you should have some good base of like standard weight training type programs and how long, and cardio, your whatever 15-20 minutes, like some hit. It's like all baseline is fine. You should start there. Whereas your FFF transformation, you're just starting, you're inconsistent in gym, you fell off for like 2 years, like you should start there. Now, at a higher level into the art of like bodybuilding or science of bodybuilding, we do play with different amounts of cardio and different amounts of weight training and different amounts of hit training to be able to create different effects in the body. And again, this is like where you need, it's not one, like, it's not like, hey, this person, this is your assigned thing and that's it. But it's through like the months to years, how someone is going to periodize your training to allow you to get the ultimate physique. Because certain periods of time, you're going to want more weight training, less cardio. Certain periods of time, you want more cardio, less weight training, and certain periods of time where you don't want hit in there at all. And now that does depend a little bit on age as well. I spoke about age and types of training distribution. I would say like older individuals, menopausal women, like a lot of you, have a hormone situation that causes a lot more cortisol spikes and belly fat. So there's maybe a different protocol I would ask you to do versus someone like Oshone here. No, here, see, you're opposite to me. Oshone here, or I mean, the guy I'm training is not Arnold, but you know, he's a guy. But I'm training a couple guys as well. And you know, like they're eating 4,000 calories. The other guy, I'm not training him, but we were chatting and he eats 7,000 calories, right? So, I mean, again, training protocols will be very different for what body type, gender, age, and what we want to ultimately accomplish, right? Usually having a coach who has an extensive background in regards to how to manipulate it will be very helpful, because as I go further into this, you understand there's so many things you got to take into place, and then you got to like dial, experiment, and you have to trial run, and you got to understand how you're going to build it. So if you don't understand all the elements together, you could obviously miss things as you are training into it, right? So so there isn't a specific book in that. You have to really train over time and then get that kind of expert feedback. So I guess for all of you, the first thing I want you to do to write down there is identify for yourself. You may not know, I'm just saying, like, maybe for awareness for yourself, maybe what body type you are. So like, are you mesomorphic, endomorphic, or ectomorphic? And then do you believe you have fast twitch or slow twitch? You will always have a combination. I'm saying dominance. So identify yourself first. And then the second question I want you to answer is, do you periodize your training? So meaning, do you change up the phasings of your training, where you have sort of like progressive overload, whether with some of my clients, I want you to get heavier, but it's more than that. It's like, do you have phases where you are going to do a certain program, then you're going to change it to another program, or you're going to level up the program? Do you switch your programs so that it can like start to help you dial that physique in? So again, it kind of goes back to your goal, because if you don't really have a goal of that, like if you have a goal of just health and wellness, you may be periodized, but periodized in a way of just increasing your level of fitness. But it may not be periodized to exactly what you want. Now, I'll use Lisa as an example, because Lisa, obviously I just posted about her. She does want general health and fitness, but she's always said to me, I want, Lisa, what do you say? I want thick quads. I want like a jacked back, you know? So like, she like told me these are the things she wants, you know? And so there's certain ways that we've programmed for her that forces her to kind of build into those areas a little bit more. And of course, still a working in progress, right? So do you periodize your training, and what body type are you. So put it below. So put below, what body type do you feel you are? And do you periodize your training and the different phasings that you have to be able to dial? Now, I would say like, if you are okay with general fitness, you can get away with working with a coach or trainer for just 2 months, 3 months, or just like once in a while. If you have high level goals, depending on your goals, you need to work with someone long term that actually can dial your physique in, or you go through tons of experimentation. Like I said to Anna, tons of experimentation and keep experimenting. But the only problem sometimes with experimenting is if you lack the knowledge base in other areas, then you may be shortchanging yourself of one or area, whether it's nutrition, whether it's macros, whether it's technical foundations, you might be shortchanging yourself.